Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esteemed Gentleman podcast for Friday, May 28th. It's going to be never mind. I was going to say it's the last podcast for May, but we got one more. May 31st. Yeah. It's your boy, Scott Lepre. I'm your host. And and what?
Here we go.
We got Uncle Teabag, Tyler Sutton here too.
Well, howdy doody.
And all day Eric DeShane.
Hello.
How you boys doing?
Great.
Fantastic.
Good.
Wonderful.
It's summertime, people.
Yeah.
Pretty soon school's gonna be over, and that means people be going on camping trips, some road trips. That's what we're here to talk about today. Road trips. Tyler, you are the one who kind of came up with this topic, so I'll let you take it away from here, my dog.
Okay, so when I was younger, our family used to go visit our Nana and Papa up in BC, Fort St. John, BC, which was about, from where we lived, about an 9-hour trip. And sometimes those road trips are very long, very boring, especially when you have a driver who does not like listening to music on the way up there. So you have to find a way to fucking entertain yourself and retain your sanity. And not by, punching your brothers to pass the time, because you're getting on each other's nerves after 8 or 9 hours, because you're not, you're too young to want to nap and whatever. Are we there yet? Shit like that. So I'm just wondering, what did you guys do? Like, have you guys ever been on long road trips like that? And what did you do to pass the time? What was your favorite way to pass the time? Any kind of music that you like listening to? Shit that would, keep you distracted from the long, boring drives.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same thing too. I have family who lives out by Lethbridge, so that's about a 6-hour drive from here. So every summer we would go and visit with them, and I would go stay a weekend with them, and then go back and everything else there. So growing up with that, I can never stay still. I had to do something, so I always bring Legos with me. So I had a bucket or a little pail with a lid on it, and it was full of Legos. So I'd just be building Legos in the back seat pretty much the whole time. So
Really,
and I got a little table I can fit in the back, and I remember. I would buy the little Lego packs and just build Legos in the back. Yeah, I was doing that with that. So yeah.
You ever hit a bump and lose any of them?
Oh, I would, but I mean, I was always able to kind of find it underneath and just keep going, right? Yeah, it's in the car. I'm not losing it like it's somewhere else, right? I know it's here somewhere. It's just a matter of finding it, right? So yeah.
If
I lose the part, I would spend a couple minutes finding the part, going back, and just keeping to myself that way. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, that was for me, and then or I'd have like my Game Boy, of course, and we've all had those for that. But then I would get in shit because I'd be playing the Game Boy for too long and not socializing, not visiting, or not paying attention to what I was doing. Right? So it bugs me. I'm like, well, I'm keeping quiet. Why are you getting mad? I'm just keeping myself, right? So the Legos were the compromise where I could still be active with everybody involved and still keep to myself a little bit there. So yeah, but the Game Boy, I remember getting in shit. We were going to the mountains one weekend to go horseback riding, and on the way back, I played the Game Boy the whole way. I got in shit for it because I just sat there for 5 hours, didn't say a word, just played Game Boy, and yet I got in trouble for it because I was quiet. This is horseshit.
It is horseshit. Yeah.
Horseshit. What the hell? Why are you giving me shit for being quiet?
It's funny you say that because I had to suffer the same thing sometimes. We'd be sitting back there and be quiet. We'd be, oh, you guys are going to rot your brains and playing those fucking video games and shit. It's like, just fucking...
Yeah.
What do you want? Then we sit there and then we get irritable and then we start fighting and stuff. And it's like, well, when you got 4 boys sitting there, like, come on. You'd be happy with the peace and quiet, you would think. But socialize. Well, what do you want to talk about? Well, there's nothing to talk about. Then don't.
I know. Yeah.
Get out of here.
I think that's what my parents were thinking where it was because, they didn't have a problem with us playing Game Boy or whatever. It's probably what keeps them from fighting with each other and bickering. So
Exactly.
I would sleep. I have a real problem to this day. It's like if I'm a passenger in a vehicle, even just going to Lloyd or something like that, I'll probably be good for one way there. But on the way home, I'll just be nodding off.
Really,
as a kid, I would be maybe play my Game Boy for a couple hours or something like that. If we're going down to we would go to Jasper or Calgary or something like that. So 6-hour drive, that sort of thing. So a couple hours might do Game Boy and then sleep for 2-3 hours and then get up and play some more Game Boy or that sort of thing. So
right.
I was always able to fall asleep. Not a problem for me.
To this day, I still cannot sleep in a vehicle.
I can't eat.
No. And anything moving, even like flying, I can never sleep on a plane. I can never sleep just anywhere like that. I just could never fall asleep anywhere, moving or flying, or traveling.
It's funny when I used to work with my dad. We'd get up, and a lot of our work would be done in Saddle Lake, so it was probably about 20-minute, half-hour drive to get out there. By the time we loaded up the backhoe and all that stuff in the trailers, and then I would immediately fall asleep the whole way up there and have a hard time like waking up when we got to the job site. I think it's because I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to, so I'd just be like, and just pass out all the time. And on the way home, I'm just like wide awake, and it's just like, but yeah, because I would just be excited. Like I think on the road trips, because I'm excited that we're going to see, see Nana and Papa, and because Nana would have probably like a new video game every time we go there. We'd play stuff, and she'd always have treats for us, and just like super awesome grandmother, right? Like we'd be so excited. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wish honestly that I was able to do that, like you could, because that would just kill all the time, like right. Just like on those space movies, just go into hypersleep instead of spending 9 months awake waiting. You just go to sleep. Like fuck, that'd be perfect. Just have a little pill for 9 hours, done. Right? That'd be perfect. So, well, I didn't have a Game Boy until later, until I was in like grade 5 and 6 probably. So we used to go on these trips when I was younger, and so I would probably like read a little bit, have my little books, and then grade 3 and 4 I would be writing already by that point too, and then we'd ask like weird questions to each other and just try to ask like really thought-provoking weird questions, and then try to listen to music and stuff. But that's what we would do. But then as time went on, obviously technology got much better, so then Game Boy came out. We used to do that. Then I got my Game Boy Advance, and then I used to play Advance Wars with my brothers. We'd link our Game Boy Advances. Fuck, that was a lit game. We used to have lots of fun playing that. And then I used to do this weird thing. I used to come up with just random stories, choosing on adventure stories off the top of my head. So I'd be telling a story, like just coming up with a story off the top of my head. And then I'd be like, okay, so then you come up to this train, and but there's something weird about it. Do you hop on the train, or do you just keep going into the forest to find out whatever, right? So then my brothers would be like, oh, or like one of them would be the one that's like deciding what to do, and then I would try to remember what the choices were, and then so if he died, if I decided I'm just gonna let him die here, I'll go back to the beginning and tell it again, and then they would pick different ways, and I would come up with something different. It was weird. I don't know why. And then I actually decided to start writing my own choose your own adventure stories. So I would have some of them written before we went on these trips, and then I'd read them to them, and then I would try and entertain my brothers with like Kirk's stuffed animals, like little puppies and bears and stuff. I come up with like little shows and stuff to entertain them on the way up there. I don't know. I just that was weird.
Jeez.
But it worked. Kept us all entertained. So
yeah, it's true.
But the Game Boy Advance, frick, when that came out, that was just a godsend.
Yeah.
Just play that. Yeah.
That's good for that.
Go to war with the brothers.
See, with me, whenever we traveled, I'm way younger than my siblings with that. So whenever I went with my parents, it was usually just me. All my other siblings are either married or living their own life at this point. So we were driving to Prince George with my family the one time. We were gone for 2 weeks. I went to Falher to see my aunt and uncle up there. Then went to Prince George and went to stay in BC for a week, and then went back home. And it was just me, my mom, and dad. So it was me by myself for keeping myself sane for a couple weeks. That's where I had the Legos. That's where I had the Game Boy and everything else there too. But yeah, whenever we traveled, I was rarely with other people. I was always by myself in those senses. So yeah, that was just trying to keep myself busy and occupied for hours on end. Sometimes it was tough, but yeah.
Right. I feel like I probably would nap if it was just me going on long trips like that.
I never could.
Maybe I could.
Sense of movement. I don't know what it is with me, if it's the sense of movement or what it is, but I just can't.
Yeah. My mom has no issue with that. I remember my mom used to fall asleep all the time while we were driving, and my dad would like try to take a picture. I have a disposable camera. He'd be like, "Hey, Tyler, take a picture." And he has a whole collection of photos of my mom sleeping. And it's weird. I'm like, this is so weird, but they're so funny because her face would be like, all relaxed and skin and drooling and just like passed right out, and she would be so mad about it. And it was like his favorite thing to do. He would just love it when she falls asleep. And then he'd reach back, and then he'd be like, "Hey, Tyler, come here, bring your head up." So I bring my head up, and he'd pluck one of my hairs out, and then he would like tickle her nose, and then hide it right away. So she'd wake up and oh, what was that? Looking around, and we're all sitting there pretending like nothing happened, and she'd think that she was losing her mind, rubbing her nose. She's like, oh, this must be bugs in here or something. Oh, and she'd rub her nose and like lay back down. My dad would do it again. What a monster, man! And that would entertain us like a lot of the trips too, right? So I guess there was always like little moments like that I
How do you like
remember that were
hold it
pretty
together though? It's like,
oh fuck, it was so hard because I'd be covering my mouth, or I'd pretend to be sleeping, like looking out the window, because I knew if I looked at my mom and the startled look on her face, I would just crack right away. She'd be like, "Oh, what's happening? Oh God, oh I don't know what that was," and she'd lay back down. Oh, so funny. Good stuff, man. So
Awesome.
funny. Yeah, shit like that. So now that you're adults, and when you go on long road trips, say with your family or with friends or even by yourself, how do you pass the time?
Tons of music.
Music?
Music is the one thing I know. Because whenever I have hockey, it's still a 3-hour drive there and back, right, for hockey. So
Mm-hmm.
to Leduc and back. So it's always been to have the music cranked up and just have my tunes going, and that's usually it there. I try the podcast thing, but I don't know, or the audiobook thing. It's just not really for me, unfortunately, with that. Especially with driving. If I was in the passenger seat listening, I probably could do that. But driving, I find I need to see somewhat focus on the road, and having a story or something on the background is
Right.
I just can't do it. So yeah, but music is the one thing I usually have my radio cranked right up and just rocking out.
Yeah.
Usually. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. I freaking wish I would have discovered audiobooks way back. I could listen to audiobooks all day, man. I love it. And just some of the talented people like the Warhammer series, I burned through like 5 or 6 books when I was living in Elk Point, going to work back and forth. I would listen to that. It'd be like a little 20-minute thing. I would even go with the speed limit so I could listen to it longer before I got to work. And it would just like, yeah, I love listening to audiobooks. And then going to visit Carly and Lloyd, I would be listening to them too the whole way back, there and back, there and back. Shit like that. Yeah, it's good stuff. I love audiobooks. What an awesome idea that is. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's if I'm driving, like when I was going back to like Saskatoon or here and back there, it's 4 hour drive. So it'd be I do podcasts usually. Like I download the Giant Bomb or the Giant Beast Cast. They have two. So like each podcast is like 2.5 hours, so usually cover most of the trip, if not all of the trip.
Okay.
And yeah, just usually like at least like something that's funny, like a podcast that's funny will have me laughing, that'll like kind of keep me up and kind of awake and alerted. I find like if I'm listening to music, like sometimes it'll be, I don't know, like just a little too droning and that sort of thing. So I don't know. But like if I'm a passenger in a road trip with family, still I'll probably like fall asleep if I'm with like going on a road trip with my like usually I'll try, like now I'm like I'll try and like keep conversation going and that sort of thing, especially if I'm in like in the front seat. But like if I'm in the back seat or that sort of thing, it's like nah. You know what's happening. I'm sleeping and I'm sorry. I'm gonna snore, but too bad.
Yeah.
But like
That's
if I'm with like you guys, friends, and we're doing a road trip, then it's a little bit different. Because now like with family, it's hard to like have conversation like that'll like a steady conversation with my parents and that sort of thing. But like with us, it's like you know, we have a freaking podcast because we talk so much. So
we can just talk all day.
Yeah, so like we'll be cracking jokes, talking about this and that sort of thing. So it's easy to stay awake and you know when your mind's constantly kind of going. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, for sure. I remember too when I was going to school in Vermilion on the way there and back. My girlfriend at the time, she had Sirius XM in her truck, and it's the first time I've been in a vehicle with that, and listening to the comedy channels.
Yeah,
and stand-up clips. Fuck, man, I was consumed by that stuff. I used to want to listen to that all the time. That was something that I thought was really cool. And even when I got my truck, the same thing.
When I first lived in Edmonton, my brother would come pick me up because I didn't have a vehicle then, and pick me up and bring me home for the weekends. And he had Sirius XM in his truck too, and we listened to the comedy the whole way there, and we'd laugh our asses off all the freaking time. Oh yeah, just the stand-up stuff and the funny skits they play. Oh yeah, it was that XM was good for that when it came out. It was fun to listen to.
Yeah, for sure. So what's like the longest road trip you've ever been on?
Probably.
I haven't been on
Medicine
like
Hat?
many.
No,
Medicine Hat.
I mean, longest one,
not
like
bad.
just one trip would be the Medicine Hat.
Okay.
But longest trip I've gone on just driving and roading was the Prince George trip. Probably that was 2 weeks.
Okay.
Going around, right? But that was going from Edmonton to Calgary. No, Edmonton to Falare, and then that to Prince George, then through the mountains to Calgary, then back up to Edmonton again. So it was a whole like good
Yeah.
circle, right? But yeah, that was the longest road trip I've ever been on. Yeah.
Yeah. For
Okay,
me, it was. Oh,
Oh, sorry. Went through the mountains to Calgary. So that was a cool trip to see that, but that's still like an all day thing too as well, right? So it was a lot of miles back then.
yeah, for
20 years ago
sure.
already now. So yeah.
Yeah. The longest trip that I've ever been on, I think, was. Well, I was actually driving. I had my my trusty teal green Plymouth Voyager at the time, so I took my brothers with me. We were going down to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think that's the longest trip we've ever been on. And we drove there to my uncle, my great uncle's place. He lived in Little Canada, Minnesota, which is right beside. It's like a small little town there, and he had his big mansion. We went down to visit him for a while, and some of our other relatives that we have living there, and we drove all the way. Not in one trip, obviously, but it took us a couple of days to get down there. But I remember that being a lot of fun. We camped on the way because my dad had the camper, and I was following him. And they'll tell you stories. Like if you ask my brothers and my parents about it, I was so scared because I was so bad with directions, and there was no GPS at the time, so I could easily get lost. Like I suck at that kind of stuff, and I get so nervous, and especially with city driving, I sucked at city driving. My anxiety was just like through the roof. So I was like literally riding the bumper of the camper the whole time. So my dad would like deliberately slam on the brakes to try and like see if I would actually rear end them. And be like, and then my mom would phone and be like, your dad wants you to back up so he can see you in his mirrors. And I'm like, I don't want to lose you. And he's like, dude, it's all freeway the whole way. Just relax, man. And I'm just like, the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
I was the same way
was
when I drove by myself the first time to like Calgary or something like that. It's a little scary at first, but yeah.
it is.
Now it's like, oh fuck, I can do that in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And especially with technology now too, you just punch in the address on your phone, turn left here, turn right here, blah blah blah. Traffic circles I've gotten a little bit better at now, but I still get a little bit of
avoid
anxiety.
those when I can. Yeah, I hate those too.
Yeah,
Dumb
exactly.
invention.
Yeah, that's a really dumb invention. But
yeah,
yeah.
I'm struggling to think of a time like a road trip that lasted more than 6 hours. Like we only ever would really go to like Calgary, Banff, Jasper, that sort of thing. Like we never really took like super long trips anywhere. Yeah. Like I know when my dad was working up in high level there, I think maybe my mom and my sister might have gone like on a trip drive up there, and I think that might have been like 8 hours or so, something like that. It's like way up in northern Alberta. It's like I think it's closer to Yellowknife than it is Edmonton or something like that.
Yeah, you're not far off the border there. High level's really high up.
Yeah, so but I never actually went up there, so yeah, I don't think like only like 6 hours really. Like Calgary and Banff, that's kind of like the farthest I've ever like been in a car and drove. Like otherwise, yeah, it's always been plane.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, for sure.
I remember.
Yeah. No, I like road trips.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say sorry. Like when I was a kid, weird, kind of funny tangent, I guess. Like when I was really young, like 5, 6 years old. So like this was like when Pokemon, like first brand new. I don't even think I had the game yet or something like that. So I was just like always like I was super into watching Pokemon the TV show.
Yeah.
And I always remember like going, even if it's just like a drive to Lloyd or something like that. And I always be like, how long is it gonna take to get there? My mom would be like, an hour and a half, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is. And I would be like, what? like that doesn't make sense. And then she'd be like, it's 2 Pokemon episodes. It's 3 Pokemon episodes.
Oh, your time.
And that's how she measure. Oh, okay.
But also I was like, maybe just stupid because they would like also get me excited because I would think I would get to watch like 2 episodes of Pokemon or something like that. It's like, ooh, 2 Pokemon episodes, nice. Like I could watch 2 Pokemon episodes right now. And I think maybe at like one point I did was like where's Pokemon? And she's like, what? No, like that's not what I meant. Like,
Yeah, I remember going to Kids Scotty a lot. That family lives out that way. It's only like an hour and a half at the most usually. But I remember as a kid, I'd hate that drive because it felt so long. But now I'm like, oh, I can do that, and like,
yeah,
I do it now if I want to. I love that. I love driving like that, right? So I do whatever I could to preoccupy myself and just not drive my parents crazy. But yeah, even those shorter ones, like I would just go crazy on because
you're just not used to sitting still for that long.
Exactly, yeah. But that was when I was really a lot more younger too, right? But yeah, I remember just hating that drive and being so boring and so long. It's only like an hour and a bit. It's like, come on, dude, like get over it yourself. Yeah.
Especially like once I got my license, I was out of high school and you know, going on these random dates with women that lived like 2 hours away. And then the one that was, where the fuck is Prince Albert? That's like what, 6 hours?
Oh my god,
7
dude,
hours,
yeah.
something like that. I'm like halfway there. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is such a long way. Oh my god.
Saskatchewan, dude. Goddamn.
Like, what am I gonna do if I get there? I'm gonna spend the weekend with someone I don't even know who it is. Like, what if I don't like her? Oh my god.
There. 6 hours back.
Yeah, 6 hour back. Drive a shame. See ya. But turned out we had a pretty good time the weekend. But that's a whole nother story. Let's move on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like driving now is just like it's nothing.
I love it.
Like when I was going to see Carly in Lloyd, and it's just like just there and back, there and back. It's like, oh, no, I'll listen to my audiobook, I'll listen to whatever, right? And just whip out the phone, go on Spotify, listen to something on comedy or even YouTube or whatever, and just stream it. Fuck, man, technology nowadays. Yeah. Makes life so much more convenient.
And now I'm finding too that I'm also like driving, but I'm also like watching what's going on too. Before I just sit there and look out the window, it wasn't like, oh, well, that guy is seeding right now. That guy is cutting his crop right now. I would see what's going on too, right? I would just look at the window and not take it in. Now I am taking it in finally and seeing what's happening. Yeah. Oh, that's a new road. That's under construction, or this is happening. That's cool. And
right. Yeah.
And the drive from here to Leduc has always been. I don't mind it now, except in wintertime because I hate driving in winter. But to do the drive itself, if roads are good, I don't care. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like I went to go buy something off of the Bynes or off Kijiji and just go to Edmonton. It's like 2 hours, but it's like so go there and I'm gonna have some good food while I'm there. You know, you make an actual event, a mini event, a day out of it or whatever, right? Like you go there and you know, like if you leave it like right after work after 5, you get there by about 7, have something to eat or get the thing, whatever you're buying, and then go somewhere, sit there and have Arby's or whatever.
God, Arby's.
Shut up. Arby's is the best.
Let's go to Edmonton, make a day out of it. Go to Arby's.
Let's buy a $10 item and have $50 worth of Arby's.
Okay,
they have the meats.
Fuck your poor colon.
And then I got colitis.
Yeah.
Carla, I'm taking Arby's. You to the best restaurant in Edmonton.
Arby's.
They have this thing called the Meat Mountain.
Yeah. It's a code word. Instead of giving you 10 pounds of beef, they give you 60 pounds of beef. And Arby's sauce. Lost in the sauce and lost in the beef.
Nowhere else gives you curly fries, damn it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Or Joey's only. Oh.
I mean, that's definitely a step above Arby's, I'll say that. For sure.
You guys just fucking move on. I shouldn't have even said anything. I love Arby's, man. That's my favorite. That's like the one thing my dad and I like share.
I like Joey's Only. When Joey was like, I remember it being in Lloydminster there because being in Elk Point, we would go to Lloydminster quite often because Cold Lake to Lloydminster they're both like an hour away from Elk Point here, so. I guess for people in St. Paul, you probably would go to Bakerville more likely because that's closer.
A little bit.
Because if you're like wanting to go to a Walmart, usually is kind of the reason we would go to.
I would go to Cold Lake.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I'd go to Cold Lake too. Yeah.
Yeah, we go to Lloyd, and Lloyd had Joey's Only.
Yeah, I think we went to Cold Lake because they had EB Games and stuff there too, right? They had all those other places. So like Vegreville had Walmart, but that's about it. I guess they had a source there, but nah. Meh.
Good old EB Games.
EB Games.
What's the worst road trip you've ever been on?
Ooh, worst road trip.
Yeah.
I went to play hockey in where is it at here? Not North Battleford. It's Saskatchewan, and it was -30 the whole time with fog, and we drove all night. It usually should be like a 5-hour drive, turned to like a 7-hour drive because of the conditions, and it was fucking terrifying.
Ugh.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that was not fun.
Uh,
That was in uh
where that was, I think that was the worst road trip of my life for sure.
Can I go first? Tyler,
Yeah.
if you're waiting.
Yeah, sure.
It's not really a road trip per se, but like, when I was moving back from Saskatoon, because my truck was in the shop, and I had to move all my stuff back, so I had to take my mom's Nissan Juke. And if you've ever seen a Juke,
oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
fucking clown car.
Yep.
It's an interesting unit.
And I'm a big dude. So I had to drive, so come home. I think I was able to bring at least like one load in the truck. So I was able to bring one load back, but then the truck had some issues on the way back. It's like, hey, well, or no, not even that. Because I came home, it was for spring break. And while I was on spring break, then I got a job. And then, so then I had to drive the Nissan Juke back, grab a load of stuff. So 4 hours there in an uncomfortable ride, load up I think I stayed the night there. Then the next day, load up a bunch of stuff, drive back to Elk Point, stay the night. Next day, drive back to Saskatoon, grab the rest of the stuff, do all the cleaning, that sort of thing, so that way I could leave there, and then drive back. So it was like 4 hours every day for 4 days straight.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, I could never be a truck driver. This is the shits. Like, fuck that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where we moved to.
That's where I was at. Kindersley. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Kindersley.
I was working for an oil company on the rigs, and we were in Conklin, and we had to do a rig move. It was my first time doing it. We followed the rig out to the next place, and it was slow going, and the weather was super shitty. I had my little Ford Probe, and we were on lease roads, and it was like I moved from Conklin, I think, to Fort Mac, but like the way we went was kind of weird. Like we went around in like a weird circle kind of thing, because I think we got relocated as we were moving out to the next site. They're like, no, actually we need you at this other site. So then we ended up having to backtrack, and I was like almost out of gas. I was out of washer fluid. I'm following these rig guys because I didn't want to get lost. There was no cell service hardly, like wherever we were going, and I was just like freaking out the whole time. So I had to literally, I used all my toilet paper and napkins and whatever to wipe my windshield as I was driving, because it was so muddy and slushy and disgusting that I had to use my sock. As I was driving, I took my sock off so I could actually like wipe the windshield, because my wiper blades were just streaking mud all the way across it. And if I stopped, I was worried that I was going to lose them. So I just had that little anxiety. I was just such a pansy with driving and stuff. It was so bad. And then once we got to like where we had to go to, like the roads were so muddy and shitty that I knew that if I stopped, I was going to get stuck. And there was people in front of me going really slow and driving stupid. And it was so fucking stressful. I hated it. It's brutal. And I think after that shift, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I quit. This is dumb. And I hated everybody I worked with, bunch of burnouts. But anyway.
I hate winter driving. I don't. If I don't have to do it, I won't do it. I just
Yeah. Winter driving sucks, but especially when you're in a car that is not meant for winter at all.
True.
And it's going to a place that you don't want to go and with people you don't want to be with. Fuck. Yeah. That was the worst. Rig move, man. No fun. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else. Any other trips that kind of stand out to you guys? Like, what was your best road trip you've ever been on? The funnest road trip you've ever been on? The most memorable.
Probably when we went to the Hayatendas, the mountains in Banff. Yeah, we'll go for horse. You used to go for horse riding weekends. A week, I guess. We would stay there and take horses up and go riding in the mountains with my family.
Yeah,
I've done it for a few years, and those are always fun because we do it in 2 trips. We go to my cousins and brother's place there. They live out by Wetaskiwin. spend the first night there, then go to the mountains the next night and camp there for 5 days, and then drive back. And yeah, that was always a fun road trip because you're in this beautiful mountains, riding horseback, nice and quiet and peaceful, and sit on the fire at night and just bullshit. Oh yeah, it was always so much fun. We've done it in a few years now, and we're trying to do it again and trying to get people organized to go again because there's always been a fun time doing that. So yeah.
Our yearly Fairmont hot spring trips were pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to Fairmont. We'd make our usual stops. We'd stop in Radium for ice cream all the time, and good times. And then Mom would buy a whole bunch of fudge because they had homemade fudge there, like actual ones, and she'd buy like bricks of it. That'd be like her highlight of the trip is stopping there to get fudge before we made it out to Fairmont. And then we'd spend a weekend, like 3-4 days there, and we'd get our usual passes. We knew where to go because we used to go every year all the time. And I haven't been, like, none of my brothers. I mean, I think my brothers have been a couple of times here and there, but I haven't been in a long time. But that's a very memorable trip. Even the trip down to Minneapolis, as stressful as it was following my parents down there. Driving into cities and stuff was a little stressful, but it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun. I miss long road trips. And it's just like, oh, that's cool. Let's make a pit stop and check it out. Okay, I love shit like that. Like, I want to make it. Like, where's a road trip? Oh, sorry, Scott. I guess you gotta go first before I ask my next one.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't really remember the drive at all per se, but I remember going down to Calgary. It must have been, I don't know, June or something like that. Or maybe even May, I don't know. But it was 1999, and I was 6 years old, and we went down to Calgary, spent a few nights there, went to the Calgary Zoo, and then we also went to Chuck E. Cheese, and we saw the Phantom Menace in theaters there as well.
Oh,
wow,
nice.
that would be
as a 6 years old, that would be a
pretty good time. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. And I got a lightsaber from Toys R Us there too. So,
dude, making all the memories.
I wonder why you remember all that. That's like a dream come true, man.
Awesome shit. Yeah.
Even as an adult, that sounds like a great time. Yeah. So, where is one road trip, like just on a driving trip, would you want to go? Who would you want to go with, and where would you want to go?
I mean, I'm kind of planning one out right now to do one. I just have an idea just to kind of go around, at least in the area, even here, just putz around for a day and just see all the world's biggest things around here. Like there's the pierogies, there's all the other shit around. Just to fuck around for a day, right? Just go for a drive. So I'm kind of want to organize something like that to maybe take my nephew or something like that and go. But yeah, I think that'd be a fun little day trip to have fun with that. Yeah.
You might have inspired me to make a mini documentary.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look it up, like why?
Right?
Why they're like it's the weirdest thing. I've been looking into what are they called, the giants of the prairies or something like that, and it's like, oh yeah, there's like 7 within or like 100 miles, like 100 kilometers within us alone. I'm like, oh my god, I see these around, and I've seen them all. Just make a little video of it or something and put it up.
Yeah, just a little like actual documentary. Make it like super sappy and like 6 wonders of the Lakeland. We're gonna go see the Ukrainian Easter egg at Vegreville. We're gonna go see the mushroom at Vilna. We're gonna go see the pierogi in Glendon.
The pumpkin in Smoky Lake, the sausage in Mundare, and
big sausage in Mundare.
Yeah, I find that out. It's like 4 hours of driving. I'm like, oh, it could be a day. You stop here and sit here, go to eat. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm planning right now. Hopefully do it next month or something like that. And my idea was to make a video for Canada Day, but we'll see if I figure that out and get it done. Yeah.
Damn. Might have to do that.
Does Peter Fiddler and the Elk Point count towards that at all? Like
the what?
Peter Fiddler, the big.
He's not on the list. I don't think. I'll double check here.
I think he would.
I think it's a good thing, but he's not on the Wikipedia page anyways for the Giants thing, whatever it was. Yeah. So
world's biggest Peter.
Yeah. I kind of want to just go on a trip somewhere like. Somewhere I haven't been, like, I mean, I've been through Saskatchewan. I haven't driven anywhere through, like, Manitoba. I don't know what there is to see in Manitoba, Ontario, shit like that. That'd be kind of cool, like, go down to Niagara Falls or something. I don't know. Just see it and then leave.
Yeah, no.
I would think, like, it'd be cool for, like, a group of us, like, our friends to go to, like, a road trip and then Airbnb, like, a cabin or something like that. By a lake-ish or so. That'd be cool.
Or even just drive through like Great Falls, go to Montana. I hear that there's awesome.
That's another one too on my list. Yeah,
go drive through there because I remember driving through Montana and it was fucking. It was cool, man. It was super cool.
A coworker of mine goes to Kelowna every year and just drives it out there. So that's always awesome doing that too. Because go to the mountain pass and just CBC and like that. So that's always a good one too. So yeah.
Guy I work with, he says the same thing. He takes his motorcycle and goes down there, and he says it's just awesome. And there's a pizza place down there somewhere. He says it's like the best pizza. It's like a little tiny, off the highway restaurant that he goes to. He makes sure that's the highlight of his trip. Driving down there, is going there and getting pizza and having a pint, and he says it's awesome. The scenery, the mountains, because there's it's like a Badlands style, right? So it's got the mountains, you got the fucking desert, and cool. That'd be fun.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Go camping down there or something, or like you said, Airbnb, or just even stay at like a little cabin of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Be sick.
That'd be great.
One day. Go away, COVID. Let's do it. Go away. Dare to dream, boys. Dare to dream.
Dare to dream. Yeah.
Cool. Well, there you go. I think we're at time. Any other final thoughts from you boys? No.
I wish I enjoyed them at a younger age. I do miss road trips.
I do too. I wish I had realized that great times were being had at that moment.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's about the journey, not the destination, as they say.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, there you go. If you like this episode of the podcast, like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on a podcast service, give us a thumbs up, give us 5 stars, and subscribe there. And then, of course, head over to our Facebook page, and submit a question for Ask Us Anything Monday, which will be coming up on May 31st. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
See you guys.